Welcome, Disney Infinity fans, and thanks for joining me on this Toy Box build series of a Death Ray. This was inspired, of course, by the scene in Star Wars Episode 4 when Alderaan was destroyed by the Death Star. This is part 3 of the tutorial series, but if you missed part 1 or 2, just click on the links on the screen. Well, let's get started right where we left off after part 2. And now we'll just remove the blocks that we used for gauging where to put our planet. We don't need those any longer. Take them all away here. And now we need to connect the locator on the path that will actually be our weapon, and that's going to be locator number 4, and we'll connect that to the path creator. You can see it's following along the path, and then it's going to reset and stop, and yeah, we actually got a little explosion there, which is what should happen. And we're going to go to locator, go to the properties, Toy Box path. You want to change some properties there. We're going to change the speed to 200. And we also want to change the way it travels on the path. So the movement style we're going to make one way and stop is what we want to do there. Now we're going to go to our path creator properties, change the speed there to also 200. Now another thing you need to change here that I did not do at this point is auto start objects when connected needs to be off, and I left it on. So make sure that you change that to off. The properties on the ability, we want to make sure that any player can use it, so we want to go down and change that to any. Now we need to change our delay times on our time delayers. This is how we know that things are going to be fired in the correct sequence at the correct time. So we'll go to time delayer 1. And this is going to be set to 9, and what this does is it makes the planet disappear. After the explosion, all the smoke clears, there's no planet, and this is achieved with this delayer and the replayer. Time delayer now time delayer number 2, we're going to set that to 4.5, 4.5, and this is the huge explosion. So when this delay is completed, there's the huge explosion. Now time delayer 3 does a couple of things. It resets and plays the path, so this is basically as the weapon is fired. And it also is sent to the sound effects for the power blast. So when that weapon's fired, it sends the locator down the path, with the subtle sparks and then makes the power blast sound. Now delayer 4 and 5 are both going to be set at 3. Time delayer 4 is a sustained explosion. It's the long explosion. And time delayer 5 resets and stops the path creator. Now we go to our properties and we're going to change the marker to yellow. You can change this to whatever you like. Blue, it really doesn't matter. I think I changed it here to something I didn't use the first time, but anyway, it works. It's yellow and it gives the user an indication that, hey, you've got to do something. Here we're changing the beacon location from this toy to the locator. And I'm just putting the locator where it's going to be used. I'll move it when I reset everything for the final display. Now we're going to set our locators along the path according to what they do. This is the initial blast. So the effects for this one is the initial blast when the terminal is hacked and the weapon is fired. This fires off first. So I'm just trying to get it positioned. I want to position it a little bit below the terrain, but I want to position it to where it can be seen. Now these last two are the flaring explosion and the huge explosion. Now the flaring explosion, you want to put just above the path point. You want that to emanate right from the center of the planet. And the huge explosion, we're actually going to put it in front and a little below the planet, just because that's the way we're looking at it, and we want this explosion to cover up the planet so that when it disappears it looks a little more realistic. Okay, let's try it out. We push the button and there's our marker. It shows above the bar, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. Now we're going to pull down the bar. That should start our sound, and we're going to go over and hack the terminal. And quickly turn around so we can see. I didn't quite see it, but there was a first explosion. It sends our beam, hits the planet, the flaring explosion, and then the huge explosion. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Now it's going to look a little better when we get our planet set, but looks like we've got everything else working the way it should. So now we're going to start our replayer. It's recording now, so anything we put now with it recording, we can then later clear the replayer and it will disappear. So now we're going to place our planet. So this is the upside down full dome. We'll use this for the bottom half of our planet. Move away here because we need to theme it. Now the theme that was closest, at least to me, and you can theme this however you like, whatever's going to fit your gameplay, was a theme called Mater. And it looked most like a planet to me, so that's what I used. And we'll get it themed and move it into position. We'll position it into place. And we want the beam to hit the lower half. We don't want it to hit right in the center. We'll place that. And we'll go find our top of the dome for our upper side of the planet and place that right on top. Once we get our planet placed, we're going to go back and reset our replayer. Okay, our planet's there. Go ahead and reset. So we've got our marker, we've got our planet. Let's go ahead and initialize this thing, get it powered up. Hack the terminal. Let's blow up a planet. Well, everything looked good except we didn't have our sound, and I think I know what I forgot to do. We got to go and change the properties in our sound effects from 3D. Got to turn the 3D off so it becomes global sound. We'll go to properties, 3D sound off. So check the rate on our repeater. That looks good. Now let's try this again. Reset it. Our planet comes back. Our marker's above the bar. Initiate the weapon. And now we've got our sound. And hack the terminal. Much better. I didn't turn fast enough to see the initial blast, but it was there. But now it's looking really good. Okay, so let's work on our theme a little bit, make this look a little more like a Death Star. Go ahead and start working on our theme. We'll change our sky. Change this to Disney 3, and we want the Empire's Weapon. The explosion is going to show up a lot better in this sky. And we're going to theme the terrain. And what do we got? Imperial Space Station. That ought to work. And now let's move some items into place. We want to position the terminal so that we have got a nice view of the planet exploding. Move the hang bar over to the left of what will be the window. Put the locator over by the bar. I kind of found no matter where you put this locator, it's going to show up at the same place over the same height over the bar. And we'll move the button over. Okay, let's see if we can give this thing a test. And push the button. That should give us our marker and the planet. Very good. That's good. We cannot do anything at the terminal. We'll have to initiate the process first. Power up the weapon. We've got good sound. Now we can hack the terminal. Good initial blast. Ray comes out. Hits the planet. Fantastic. Well, that's it for this episode. In the next video tutorial, we'll go ahead and build up the Death Star around a little bit, get a window so it looks nice. We didn't really do anything too elaborate, but we will finish it off so it looks good. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a like. It really will help in building the community for this great game. Oh, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you'll be notified as soon as I post new videos. Well, that's it for now. See you next time, and have a magical day.